from City? Or
We're all okay?
Can I see who you can see everyone?
Yeah, I can see participants and stuff.
Yeah, I see you, Jocelyn, and we see like half of the participants. No,
Cool.
it stops at
I'm good here. I mean, we're
that table.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Thank you for coming to our training today and welcome to our training. My name is Lisa.
My name's Casey.
Kelly?
Alyssa. I'm Emmy.
And I'm Jocelyn.
And we want to thank you so much for coming on a Saturday afternoon. I know it's like hard and it's like in the middle afternoon, so we're going to start with a fun energizer, which Casey's going to lead.
All right, again, thank you. So let's move our bodies and stand up, please. Try to find some room. You need some room for this. All right, so this energizer is called the banana dance. If you've heard of it before, great. If not, that's okay. It's really simple, really easy to follow. You can even use this in your classroom. Are you ready, bananas? All right. First, we form the banana. Form the banana. Form the banana. Form the banana. Then we peel the banana. Peel the banana. Peel the banana. Peel the banana. Then we chop the bananas. Chop the bananas. Chop the bananas. Chop the bananas. Then we smush the bananas. Smush the bananas. Smush the bananas. Smush the bananas. Then we go. Bananas. Go bananas. Go bananas. Go bananas. Thank you. Does everyone feel a little bit awake now?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, that should have gotten everybody going. Now let's get to know everybody a little bit more. You guys have already started filling out your info flowers there. So if you guys can start to share your All About Me flowers with your table mates, because these will also be the same partners that you're going to have for the activities to come. So we're going to give you guys about 10 minutes, kind of mingle, and then, you know, share about a little about each other.
So maybe these four and hello.
Hello.
Do you guys work? Should we share what we each have?
Yeah. So,
Well, I live in
name.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Angelina.
Francis.
I'm Ramita.
My favorite color is turquoise.
My favorite holiday is
Color is blue. Yeah, blue.
and my family consists of my parents.
8 words to describe it or 3 words to describe it?
3. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So I'm gonna do it.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, I thought it was an A,
My
so I put
favorite
only
color
one
is
word.
Yeah. Or you could just put one word too.
Okay.
Whatever works best for you guys.
Let's see, 3 words to
I put
describe me. I'm
friendly
Vanessa,
and laid
caring,
back.
passionate, and determined. My
crazy
favorite
and
holiday is
sad.
Christmas. And my favorite book
I also
is The
put family.
Alchemist.
My favorite holiday is Christmas.
Me too.
Favorite holiday is Christmas. Right now I don't have a favorite book so far.
My favorite book right now is Bossy Pants by Tina Fey.
I like every color of that one. My favorite authors was
3 words to
describe
me.
patient, caring, independent. I'll eat it.
My favorite food is sushi.
I don't know if you would call it a food, but I said French fries.
Any dessert
at all. Like I'm picky, incredibly picky with food.
except for
desserts, so it's just like chocolate. That's it.
And I'm an only child, so
So you just put any dessert?
any dessert. Yep.
Cheesecake? I love cheesecake.
We could have a whole conversation.
And my family, my family is my background.
So my family means the world to me.
My family is mixed. I don't always like it. My mom's different.
Then you don't want to
Even if it's cold.
I'm loyal to my ice cream.
No matter what.
Yeah.
You
Right.
guys go through your flowers already?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
And then-
You're all done with the flowers? Yeah. I think Nordstrom. Yeah. Nordstrom or Nordstrom. Those are my favorite cookies.
The last one.
I'm looking for a gift for my mom. It's a little
All right. So does everybody feel like they got to know each other a little bit more? All right, so great. I wanted to ask if any of you guys are familiar with class assessment tools. Show of hands. We've got a couple that are familiar a little bit. All right, so well, class is a great assessment tool. Yeah, okay. So, well, sorry about that, guys. So, class is a great assessment scoring tool on observational tools, and that focus is effective in the classroom interactions among teachers and children. So, it consists of 3 domains. So, the domains are up here, and then each domain has a set of dimensions. So, in emotional support, you have positive climate, negative climate, teacher sensitivity, regards for student perspective. You have your second domain here, which is classroom organization, and you have your behavioral management, productivity, and instructional learning formats. And then you have instructional support, which helps with the dimensions of concept development, quality of feedback, and then language modeling. And then this last domain here is actually what our training is going to be about. And it's going to be based on instructional support. And then Alyssa will go more into detail about that for you right now.
So before I explain instructional support, would anyone like to just take a guess, just based off of instructional support, what it means?
In one of my class periods, I have an ELD aide that comes in, so I think of her as support.
Okay. Yeah, so instructional support is when you teach the guiding, so that person is probably helping guide your students. And through scaffolding, and it's used to get the children to expand on their ideas rather than inserting your own ideas into their minds. And we're also using it to help them feel comfortable expanding on their own ideas. So here you can see that it has different age groups, infant, toddler, and pre-K. And this is how class assessment lays out their assessment based on these 3 different age groups. And the yellow boxes, if you can see, is highlighting the instructional support section. The different dimensions might be explained or written differently than like from each other, but they're all based on the same techniques. And then here is a graph from class's assessment it was done nationwide. And so this was the first domain, and obviously teachers have a high quality in this section. And the second domain is not that far behind. However, instructional support is very low. So it's actually important that teachers, if they don't have the training, begin to learn the training. And also just from my outside research, I found 2 studies, and the first was done with kindergarten teachers who increased the implementation of classes instructional support with their students, and they found that it lowered the task avoidance behavior, so children were more inclined to do the task given to the students, and thus they found that it correlated with higher math skills. And also in a second study, which was done in Pennsylvania in 100 elementary schools, it focused on examining reading and math skills more than behavioral challenges that the other study did, but it found that students' reading comprehension actually increased when instructional support was implemented in the classroom. So I know that we're more focused on preschool and early development here, or early childhood development, but just seeing in these studies how much of an improvement it showed in elementary school age, I just figured if we start it younger, then it could make that much more of a difference.
So these 3 images represent what we should know, see, and do for instructional support. So as educators, we should know what effective interactions are with the children and why they matter to instructional support. And then we must see the effective interactions to build self-awareness for instructional support. And to do is where we actually practice and implement the strategies and integrate the behaviors that come with instructional support. And as Lisa said in the beginning, these are the 3 dimensions of instructional support. Through the domain of instructional support, we will now go through the overview and go into detail of concept development, quality of feedback, and language modeling.
All right, so now I'm going to talk about the first dimension, which is instructional support. And concept development is defined as the basic information that a child needs to understand their world. And you can see concept development has 4 practices that you could apply. So I will describe them in a scenario. So let's say if a child is out in the yard and sees a bee, you could use analysis and reasoning by asking why and how questions, problem solving, prediction, experimentation, comparison, and evaluation. So you could talk to the child about the bee. What do you think it's doing there? Why do you think it's on the flower? Or even talk about like the cycle of the bee. So you could definitely expand and have them think beyond than, okay, the bee's on the flower. The second one is creating. So you could definitely expand on this experience and bring it into your classroom, like making crafts about bees or reading books about bees. So you could brainstorm, plan, and produce and bring it back to your classroom. The third one is integration. So you could connect to previous knowledge that children already have. For example, like colors, shapes, characteristics, like the bee flies, what else flies, and expand on that. And the fourth is connections to the real world. So you could even ask them, like, have you seen a bee? If so, where? What do you know about bees? And yeah, those are the four practices that you could use in concept development. And now Lisa would talk about our first activity.
So our first activity is going to start with scenario. So let me give you guys, or Emmy's going to give you guys some post-it paper. And Helen here is going to be, we're going to do some role playing. So she's going to be a child playing with the sensory table. You want to go to the and then we will have here. Emmy, you guys want to role play to the other side of the table? So, and then Jocelyn, you can join them. And then, check it. So, as they're playing with their sensory trays, I want you guys to think of questions that you would ask them while they're playing. As a teacher, what would you ask them? Would you be using open-ended questions, or would you be using closed-ended questions, or are they going to be just direct questions? Each table, you guys have some post-it paper there. Can you have one person record those questions? And then I'm going to give you a little bit of time to get into asking those questions. Yes.
Would you like the questions on one question on each paper, or put multiple
you
questions?
Just put a list, bullet point them, so those are your questions that you're going to be recording.
What does it feel like?
Ask your children here. You guys are their teachers, so they're playing with the sensory. Amazing.
What colors are orange?
What else do you see?
Blue, white.
Food.
Can I eat it? Food. Can we eat corn?
Corn.
Yeah.
Does it look like this?
No, it's hard.
Or what's what your guys' answers are?
What does it taste like?
There it is.
Why do you think the corn is hard?
What are those?
Why do you think it's dry?
What can you use them for?
Where have you seen corn before?
The grocery store.
Hodge.
Can we eat some rice?
Grocery store.
Wait, that's it?
Yeah.
I think it's gross.
Smell it?
What else do you see other than corn?
If they don't know, it's rice.
Circle.
You can keep going with that.
Circle.
Oh, circles. I see. What do you guess? What's this?
A bee.
Reminds me of sand.
Colors do you see?
Reminds me of the sand.
Brown.
White.
The sand.
Have you guys seen seashells before?
I have.
That's my favorite color,
The
yellow.
ocean. The ocean.
Mom and Daddy used to take me to the beach. Pretty sure.
In the agua. You smell it?
Where do you play at? Inside?
What's your idea with the shell?
I play in the grass.
What's your idea with the shell?
My idea?
What about sand?
Yeah. This is like
Hitting it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm rolling it. Rolling it around.
We're gonna take you.
Yeah, I was going to be here when the valley lights.
Like a Morocco.
You hear anything? I hear the ocean in there.
Look at ring.
Well, give you guys just a couple more minutes to finish up your questions.
When you eat rice, does it look like that?
No. Not like this. It's white. White. Brown. It has vegetables.
Oh, comes from the
It
sun.
tastes good.
My mom makes rice with vegetables.
Yes. Yellow.
Do you eat rice?
Flowers, like I said.
My mom makes
Purple.
feeling it.
Purple rice.
I
No.
like the green. We're supposed to make this.
Can I eat it?
Role playing, so I know they asked for that.
How does it
So do you guys feel that you guys got a good amount of questions written down already? Okay, so our children, can you come back out?
stop being
Come on, children. Okay, so now that you guys have your list of either open-ended or closed-ended questions, we would like you guys to discuss within your group your questions and identify which one were open and which one wasn't. So just within your group, I'm going to give you some time within your group to discuss the questions you guys have.
Have you seen these before open? Well, I guess maybe closed.
Which one?
Have you seen these before?
Everything before? Yeah.
I don't think you've got any closed. Do you think time you eat it would be closed?
Yes or
So what questions do you guys have over here?
Have you seen them before? That would be closed. What does it feel like? What colors are there?
I don't think you wrote why do you eat it. Well, we asked what does it feel like, and I feel like we discussed that felt more of an open question because there can be different answers. What colors are there? That can be also open. Some people might see different colors depending on their visual learning kind of style. What are those? The shells? I mean, that's closed, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, closed. Unless you ask what kind of shell.
Or they're unclear.
You're pretty functional.
That's open. Do you guys feel like you have more open-ended questions than closed?
I think we do.
Most of your questions are more
What are your
open-ended questions.
feelings? That can be open. Maybe put something else
Would you
there.
say that your questions adapt to,
mean it
you know,
necessarily to be like
a child's concept development of like understanding what it is that they were doing at their sensory trace?
I just get a snapshot of you guys' awesome questions. Sure. It seems like you guys had a lot of
Wait, there's an answer for you.
already open.
She was like writing out
Yeah,
transcribing.
you can interact with it.
So I started stooping with the shells, and I started listening to the shells, listening to the sound, so I had different ideas to use them.
And I noticed too that with some of your not open, then you didn't open one that was
Oh,
yeah.
good job.
Don't worry.
Huh.
Yeah, information about that.
You got some good questions over here. Oh, it's because of the lighting over there. All right. Okay, so did you guys feel that you guys had a good amount of open-ended questions? Yeah. And then, okay, so Helen's going to talk to you guys more about why these open-ended questions are, so important to our concept development for the children.
So the third instructional support is quality feedback, scaffolding, feed loops, encouragement and affirmation, and promoting through process. I will give you now examples of all of those. An example of scaffolding is when I give a child a cow. Let's say that he's playing with the farm animals, and I give him a cow, and I say, "Oh, where is the cow gonna go?" So I'm assisting him with the cow. And then I say, "Oh, let's go together and put the cow together." An example of feedback is when I ask a parent, a child, how's their day going, and then I expand it more of, what are you gonna do in the day? What does your afternoon look like? Then that's all. An example of persistent by teacher is to teach their students about becoming a good role model for their children, for other children. So an example, how becoming a good model. An example of quality feedback is encouragement and affirmation, and is recognizing where a child for his or her uniqueness to support them and help with that. Example of reinforcement is when I praise a child for him that he's playing a toy and he shares a toy with the child. And I say, "Oh, I like that you played with the child and you shared toys." The last quality feedback is in promoting through process. I ask the students to explain their thinking and response on the painting project about their experience at the garden.
Okay. So she just went through a lot of information, including from what you guys have already gone through. So how do you guys feel so far right now within the two first dimensions that we just mentioned? So we went through concept development, right? So that first activity that we did with finding, with the role playing and you guys asking questions in regards to the sensory trays that the children were playing at. Those open-ended questions are very helpful in extending the development of the child. And then when Helen talked about the scaffolding, it scaffolds into the quality of feedback, because quality of feedback is how, not in the sense of always, praising the child, but your quality of feedback and how you ask your questions is what gets the child to the next level of development. So, as a teacher, the activities that you guys participated in was supposed to aid your understanding in the concept development, and how, as a teacher, you can help the children learn more by guiding the thinking with open-ended questions, and in return, they can enhance their problem-solving skills and build on their cognitive skills. So I heard questions over here about, they went into detail about the corn that was in the birdseed sensory tray. And then over here, I heard you guys ask questions about, why is the rice blue? Is the rice always blue? And they, were able to give the feedback. So that provides, more thinking process for the children as to just say, it's rice, I'm playing. So now that we've, gone through the first two dimensions, we're going to give you guys a little break. And so we're going to give you guys a 10-minute break to kind of take more snacks in. And then I will also be giving you guys an evaluation form, and you can fill it out as you go. Okay? Thank you.
The cave broke
It's a
off.
break. It's a break.
Jocelyn, do you guys have another group? This is it. Is it camera still?
Before you just get out.
And there's a restroom down the hallway.
Yeah, there's a restroom down the hallway.
Do that.
So if you guys go up, just
Hey, who wants chips?
we have a lot of food, guys.
Have you had anything, Elisa? Have you had anything?
Did you have cookies or anything? Cookies.
Okay, we were talking about.
Grab another one.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go get some snacks.
Me too.
No, good. Thanks,
I know. Nobody's breaking into the Danish. It's not very Does anybody want some Danish? Ew. Normal.
caramel coffee.
Okay, so we'll see. Thank you so much. Melissa, Danish.
Caramel.
No? Yes?
Yeah.
In your mouth.
Okay.
Now.
How many get a piece of Danish?
Yes, please.
All right.
And caramel.
Nobody in the right mind.
Rainbow?
Oh no.
Say, no, I don't want to be eaten.
Throw in your piece of there.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Muttered again.
Do you need a napkin, Melissa?
That says something about being here. I mean,
Sometimes it gets
not now. Messy Brandy.
I just hope my closets won't work.
Yeah, because, well, I'm not, they're staying here.
Wait a minute, this pizza?
Hablo español.
Sí, el gabinete que estaba aquí necesitamos ponerlo.
Si quieren, nosotros lo ponemos. O lo ponemos después. ¿Dónde está? Ok.
El problema es que está ahí.
Check out this pizza.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Pero, ok, está bien. Si quieres, hazlo.
There's drinks too, ladies. Water and...
Y aquí teníamos que dar champán.
Okay.
Just set them up on the good chair. Yeah, no big deal.
I think I run to the restroom.
Melissa, pizza?
Mañana no quiero
Might as well.
That's a yes.
I'll let them know.
Yeah, look at that.
Don't take me down.
The bathroom.
Now I'm at Little I'll let them know that you're ready.
Ya, no se lo llevan. Gracias.
But that's okay.
Maybe it was paused for the break.
That's okay because
It's
started?
It was recording when the break started. I know that. So
Oh,
we're good.
okay. Then it might just, if anybody, yeah. It started again now.
Did you find your camera?
Oh yes.
Can you switch your phone or is your laptop to charge it? Or, I don't know. You know what? I'll just charge my laptop.
And then explaining the other like area.
Give them about 5 more minutes. Okay.
I just looked at my phone, but I'm gonna stay for a little bit longer.
It's supposed to be over at 5. Well, we were supposed to start at 3:30. It's in like an hour.
They are took over. How? They are took over.
Just a really big game. Yeah, pizza it up to like they're playing.
We like Pringles. Yeah. Everybody loves Pringles.
Just the originals though.
No flavor.
Yeah, no.
Don't give her anything flavor.
No. Really? Yeah, my nose. Like burgers, hot dogs.
I know a lot of people like that.
Really big spread on the end.
You know, so.
You like the taste of what's like on the cookie.
I really do. It's like my burritos too. It's just like the bottom right.
When did we open the TV?
It's so interesting.
From your booth. Oh yeah.
You're probably right. People are like, people are like, where are we on the sour cream?
Everyone's like, I don't like ketchup, and everybody's like, that's just like nearly American.
Yeah. Wow. Seriously? This thing is to try for.
Oh, like
Any dessert. Missed that part.
That's some over there for somebody.
You guys can get your pizza.
Oh no, it's fine. It's like
I second that.
Take all you want. Only on chairs. Met your little all about the flowers.
yeah. Caramel, dude. Oh, it's coffee too.
But wait, that's good.
Let's eat it.
How many grams?
I have a couple more minutes. Yeah, I had them in 10 minutes. Take a couple bites. It's fine. It's only been half an hour.
Oh, I don't know.
More pizza
She told me that the old guy's gonna cost a little bit more than what she told me that. Right?
You want which one do you
Where do you live? I'm over in San Leandro.
Big mommy on this.
Thank you. It's okay. There's a little bit more traffic than I needed. It's part of my way, so.
Yeah, everyone got one.
No, we're fine. We were still like getting ready.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Sorry.
This is my second one. I go to school. Yeah, we went to middle school and
Excuse me, facilitators, where would you like my questions?
We'll collect them at the end.
They're good? Is it good? I looked at that, I was like, I know what to get.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's coffee cake with like deliciousness all over it.
I learned she likes dessert things. So it works out perfectly. We always eat dessert before the food.
What about ice cream?
Was it? My grandma had this pillow that I always loved in her house. It says, "Life is short, dessert first." I was like, motto of my life. I live my life like that. So.
Definitely.
All right, Helen, when you're done, we're gonna start wrapping up, okay?
Oh, you are fine. I saw that.
You were like,
I saw the dessert and I was like, oh, okay.
little dance party going on.
Just getting down with it. Love your music.
Thank you.
My house pictures of us eating and trains.
Like Binkley.
Come on, Amy. Oh my god, wow, it's so funny. Wow. Children, right? Yes. God. You didn't even let me use that face. Oh boy.
I guess some more cookies.
Take it, camera.
All right, friends. Are we ready friends? Are we ready to start back up? All right. So.
Is the camera running?
It's on. Yeah. It should open a little bit and then I put it back. Okay. So. Sorry. Cocktail music done. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a handout here, and this one here is just kind of an overview of instructional support in the class assessment tools. So as we've already talked about, the 3 dimensions, well actually the 3 domains, and then within each domain there are the dimensions. Each one vary, because there's a pre-K one, and then there's infant toddler section, so for the younger kids. And what we're looking at here is the pre-K one, because it seems like a lot of our teachers teach pre-K, and so that's why concept development, quality and feedback, and language modeling is so important to our pre-K class, because their language skills are higher, and you want to expand on that so they can build on the vocabulary. So if you take a look at the overview on here, it's just going to go through again, what we've already talked about. And this one came from the Oregon Head Start Preschool, so it's, just north of us. I couldn't kind of the California one, but it pretty much goes through the same things. And so we've already done concept development, and we've gone through quality of feedback, and then now we're going to start like a little scenario of scenario activity for quality of feedback.
So we're just going to get into a little discussion. So I'm going to give you a scenario and just think about it. So so there's 2 children working on a puzzle. And as a teacher, what questions or comments would you ask for them to finish the puzzle that will offer both verbal and physical assistance? So what kind of questions and comments would you say if you see 2 kids just working on any puzzle?
Do you guys want to discuss it within each other, and then we'll go ahead and get feedback from you guys after? So yeah, so let's
great.
join our
Partner
little
up.
group,
Yep.
partner up, and then
Like, my mind was, what is that?
So Yeah, I just would depend on like, the kind of puzzle we're working on. It'd be like, oh, you know, what do you notice is, you know, similar? Does, you know, which pieces look alike? You know, asking those kind of questions. Maybe asking, you know, oh, do you think if you turn that piece, it'll fit better, you know, than the area that we're working on, if they're like close to like having one piece close together. I know I've seen that a lot of times. So like if they get like the idea, like two pieces that look close, but they just like, put it the wrong way. Like, oh, what if we turn it a little bit? Let's try seeing what happens if we turn the puzzle piece. Asking kind of those
so that they can at least move to the next task.
Like similar pieces that had autism. And so if there's got into the mode of doing that, you guys could ask that question, or you take every single piece and try it all the way and put it over there. You're letting it into the methodical, and so the other things I start building up was like, well, it looks alike, or if we already had the person there, like, oh, what are they missing? Their hand. Let's look for their hand. And which piece looks like they have their hand? Yeah.
So then they start looking for the puzzle pieces, and to move on to the next task is to start building that puzzle. So they're getting frustrated because the pieces aren't fitting. So how would you move past that? Like what would you move? How would you pass?
Asking about
What questions would you ask
so
they move forward on that task? So that
kind of trying to see what the puzzle is about. I know Frances over here is talking about a moment she had with another child, and she was trying to get the think about the layout of the puzzle, how it was like a body, and like, oh, you know, the hands over there, where's the hand? What would happen if you try to find the pieces match it with the arm, kind of body things.
So what if the children were like doing the puzzle and they're like, nope, I can't do it, and they try to walk away and they get really mad about it? How would you try to redirect them back to the puzzle and try to encourage them to keep going and finish the puzzle?
I think sometimes, like, I know that I have some children when, like, they get the idea when there's something, like, really similar, they'll be close to it, and think, you're really close, you're almost there. Well, we can turn the puzzle piece a little more, try different ways of turning the puzzle. And then once they find it, they get, you know, a little more excited, and they want to keep going after they find the piece that fits together.
Like, stop this for now and continue. And so, like, our almost leave it to the side, or I sense that it's safe. I did try again later.
That's really awesome.
Or I might point over to the area that the pieces that were really distant from what they were doing and put the ones closer so that they had more success when they were first trying to kind of get the momentum going of the joy of like being able to put that together.
That's really good. And then hiding it on their own. So it's like,
yeah, it was their own. It was like 5 pieces over there, but I still let them like still problem solve which one it was, but I kind of kept hiding the ones that were really far off. Like if it was over here on this corner, I knew this one was up here. I was like, behind.
I've done that before too, and kind of like push other pieces together. Like, yeah, just like, what's going on over there? Those younger ones.
Yeah, that was they need a lot more guidance and pretty much a lot of prompt training too. Pretty much proximity to things to kind of, I mean, just to like get them more focused on the joy of finding the piece rather than getting frustrated. Because like
teaching them a little bit around,
especially
they feel like they still haven't figured that out.
First thing that they jump to is like frustration. Because it's frustrating when you're trying to do something.
Starting with corners too, like maybe that might be different for like older
Yeah.
And even just like sitting next to them, even if sometimes there's like no dialogue, because I know when puzzles in general are really overwhelming. It's like you're just sitting next to them doing your own thing.
Why
And
do you
they
think
can
it's
like kind of watch what you
important
do and how you do
to
it.
follow through with, you know, like a child started
it's like
something,
older kids,
you know, they don't want to finish, but like, why is it
How
important for them to
much?
keep going?
I'm thinking it was the Michelle Marshmallow test.
The what?
The Michelle Marshmallow test.
Michelle?
Yeah. Having
Leave it
the
out and allow them
a huge
to
thing for success in the future is like for me if another kid working on something secondhand rather than the instant gratification it's working towards today or that's bigger than that. So I mean if that's what you're trying to get your kids before they leave, and that's such a huge thing for them to figure out way now, anything you can do to encourage them to complete tasks.
Don't, you know, if you want to just
a great example.
And it's like the process.
Exactly,
Like,
right?
having
Like
them fully go through it, not like
your whole life is going to be struggle for something bigger. And then when you feel that accomplishment because you struggled for it, and if they love like they're just like more rewarding. Like right away.
I didn't think about that.
Some children
When I was thinking
like
about
just
it, I was thinking about
naturally
how on DRDP, attention maintenance is one of the goals that you want to help children kind of develop and work on. And I think making sure that they're staying in an activity for a certain amount of time and really working on it allows them to get those ideas and just working and focusing on something.
Yeah, but it's also even when they start going into bigger grades and they have to sit there for longer periods of time with their attention to something to build up that kind of stamina for that.
All right, so do you guys want to share with us? I mean, so that we all, it sounded like both sides had some very similar, you know, like feedback and how it would go. Would you guys like to share with, we were already sharing so that we're all aware of like what you guys thought within both scenarios, what you should do.
Sure. Well, over here we were kind of talking about different ways to help them by, like, depending on what the puzzle looks like, you know, trying to help them find something that, you know, is, you know, close to, like, the thing. So, like, Francis gave an example of, you know, if it's like a body part puzzle thing, if they're, you know, working on an arm, it's like, oh, you know, where's the hand piece? You know, trying to help them find the hand piece, or also kind of manipulating the puzzle pieces so that they can work on a specific area first and then continue on to the rest of the puzzle.
And then what did we discuss over here on this side?
We talked a lot about like different ways of prompting. Like we can help them by showing them or telling them, but we could also like sit down next to them and work on it ourselves. Invite them in and like, or just be like, oh, I need help with this piece. So it makes them feel empowered and more like excited to like try to put it together. If they're frustrated about it, like show them that it's okay and like let's just work on a new piece and then we'll come back to that one. Or like even walking away from the puzzle, sometimes it's necessary because I feel like puzzles are really overwhelming sometimes. I think for kids, like once they hit like a point of frustration, like that's it, and so just letting them know that they can come back later.
So with this group, I like asking them why was it important to follow through with what you're saying. You know, if a child does get frustrated with a puzzle piece and like they just want to leave, like, can you guys share like what you said about why it's important to follow through?
We were talking about just like life-term goals for, you know, this kid's going to grow up, and something that you kind of need to learn is that there's not always going to be instant gratification with your things, and kind of build up that tolerance to working through things that are not so great to get to something that can feel, you know, accomplishing for someone to do. That kind of building that up is really, really good idea. And then, do you want to add anything?
Francis talked about the marshmallow test. I don't know if you guys know about it. I know I learned about it like in my early education, you know, of early childhood. And it's this thing where, you know, the child has to wait for a extended period of time to eat the marshmallow that's in front of them. And so, you know, it allows them to, you know, hold on to that anticipation, you know, especially, you know, like I said, you know, in school, you know, when they get into, you know, the later grades in elementary, they're going to have, you know, be in a classroom for a longer period of time. So it allows them to build those skills.
Those are really great ways of and examples of quality of feedback. So that's the purpose of like why it is important for us to provide very rich like quality of feedback, where we just don't, you know, give them that gratification of just like, it looks nice, that's good, oh okay, well if you're all done, we're gonna put it away now. And you know, by prompting them and guiding them, it allows them to problem solve on their own without feeling vulnerable and feeling like that frustration is only there for them to do by themselves, and if they can't, then they're just gonna go put it away. And
Can I add?
oh yeah,
I also wanted to say about what you said about saving. I think that's also important because when you save something, it shows them that you're taking their work seriously. So it's not just like, oh, you worked on it for a little while and we'll put it away. It's like, no, this is important. You took the time to work this far. Like, if you're tired now, you can take a break, but we can come back. So it's just showing like we value what you're doing, and it matters that you do take that time to do that.
Yeah, so the way we talk to children, the questions we use, the conversations that we have, it's good for quality of feedback, but it also ties in with our next dimension that Emmy will be talking about, of language modeling.
All right, so we talked about, like they said, the 2 dimensions of instructional support, the quality of feedback, and then concept development. Now we'll talk about language modeling, which has these areas are frequency conversation, open-ended questions, repetition and extension, self and parallel talk, and advanced language. So with frequency conversation, it is encouraging children to use language, and an example of that in the classroom would be when there is peer conversation. Questions that required more than a one-word response would explain open-ended questions, which is the second area. And then a great way to encourage children to elaborate their answers rather than just asking yes or no questions. And then there is, in repetition and extension, it's extending and elaborating on children's conversation. And then there's self-parallel talk, which would be a teacher maps out a child's actions or also when a teacher maps out their own actions. The last area, which is advanced language, is when you use a variety of words while speaking with children to help expand the vocabulary. So, with that brief description of language modeling, we will be going into our next activity, which is vocab bags.
Yeah.
Vocabulary bags. So, with this activity, it emphasizes the importance of implementing language modeling into the classroom. Each of you guys are going to get index cards. Lisa and Jocelyn are passing them around, and colored markers and Ziploc baggies. So, with all of these, with the index cards, we want you to write down words that would be helpful to build and expound children's vocabulary in the classroom. So, think about your specific classroom that you work in. Does everyone work in a classroom?
I'm in 7th grade.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this is for you to take home, take with you to implement in the classroom. So do 7th grade. That's okay.
So just think of words that you wouldn't ordinarily use with the children. So think of words that you, it's like your own thesaurus. So you are their thesaurus, and a way that you can implement this into the classroom afterwards is you can make it an activity. Each week, one child can pick the word, and that's the word that you guys are going to use all week long. And then that helps them build their vocabulary in the process of language and then modeling the word after you. So just, find words that you would want, because these bags are for you guys to take home. So, and the markers are right there.
So we're going to give you guys about 10 minutes to do that.
So what words are you gonna relate to?
I am putting fret because it is in our fret. It's in our Llama book, and kids always ask, "What does fret mean?" So the fret, the responsibility.
Words in here.
Yeah, they definitely don't have to like relate to each other. It can just be like random words. I know, like for my class, like they were really big on colors, and then we expanded like periwinkle, seafoam green, like neon yellow, like right, like things like that. Just expanding what they already know, or just basing it off of their interests. Super simple, but also like really fun. Like during circle time, they can just be like, "Oh, I picked a word, I picked a word, I picked a word," and they can go home and be like, "Oh, I love this word."
have them tell me what words are
Okay. How about you? Do you have anything?
The first one that came to mind was right.
Delicious. Yeah.
Like, instead of saying that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's yummy.
You know who uses delicious all the time? Adeline.
Miss Liz, it's delicious.
7th grade,
What age?
Right now it's just something.
you can use like bigger words.
Oh yeah.
They are bigger.
Well, that's actually so it targets like the
Oh, I don't even know what that means. Enlighten me.
older children seem to know that word.
I'm trying to think of like other words that I've heard them asking about.
Oh, would you like to
It's like good picking.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can
words like
make
that.
multiple bags. If you want to like theme your bag,
Because I find
definitely
myself
make
saying,
we're just watching that.
what was the word that you said?
Because we don't
Until your children.
Oh yeah. You know how
I got it. I got you.
Yeah.
and then
So what's
so
your-
I'm gonna collect all of these.
why does it smell like manure out here, right?
And
And then so Brody goes, Miss Lisa, I need to go manure.
like actually have a manure. This morning I have a lot.
Yeah, so that's like, I mean, it's funny, but you can use
And
all
only
these.
Brody would be like, manure.
I need to go
What
manure.
are they working on in the classroom? That could
Like
like,
last time, and he was like, courtesy
what
flash.
activities do you have them do?
We've been testing for
So
like 2
they
weeks.
used to think of words like, yeah, what they can use.
It's been a really long day.
Sleep when they eat.
We're reading in class with
I know some words they asked me about this week.
so that's where most of these words are. And I mean like, because
And they're testing again on Monday and Tuesday.
2 to 5.
Their brains are so broad.
The older kids can
Is it start testing?
It's, we don't do start testing anymore. We did, the new test for California is CASP. CASI. CAASI.
Is it similar though?
No. And you have to have, it's all online. You have to do that way.
Is that for all age ranges?
At least for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure my niece is still doing the STAR, but she's in elementary school.
Maybe. I don't know. But that's that one. And then the district is saying yes to the NWEA.
But is all these standard?
I don't really know what that one is supposed to measure. I know the CAS is supposed to measure common core students.
Do you guys have any like themes or just like random
Aware. Like, we go on walks, I'm
And
supposed to be aware of surroundings.
That's a really good one. Your words could be like themes of something, you know? So if you have like, based off their interest, like something like one of the other teachers used one time was like colors, but they used like big colors. What you guys were suggesting, like periwinkle and
seafoam green?
I love seafoam green.
One of my
Chocolate brown.
Vanilla. What age?
Milky Way.
They are mostly 3.
It's more like adjective.
Most of my children are 3 years old.
And if you feel like you want to look something up too, if it helps you think a little bit, feel free to do that too.
Talk to each other about
Yeah, you guys are coming up with great words.
We talked about what it meant until we started using it for each other, and I was so mad. Most of my kids hate each other, so it was really comical.
Talk back very nicely, so.
They're just so verbal.
Yeah.
You know that. Flabbergasted, but it's not.
They like
That's a good one.
like hardcore.
Oh, Kate's a big negotiator. Did she tell you about her owie on her lip? Well, she was changing in her pajamas.
One of my kids ranches and he's been saying like different like planet kind of things. He just like talks about asteroid belts and like lines up some of our blocks that we have. It's like, oh, it's an asteroid belt.
I guess
an
we're
asteroid
getting
belt. So the kids are like,
I know, I'm
Out of styrofoam and we call them under the weekend of present. With like the little actual planet picture.
I'm going to teacher Sheridan's class now.
I saw something in here. I know exactly.
Oh, did you say that?
Like the girliest little girl.
like the
I mean, if you see her on the side, it's a lot of right when I get there.
Dad, where's that hair? Where's that hair?
All of that.
I don't think I grasped it and spelled correctly.
like exhausting. We'll give everyone a couple more minutes.
Why do I feel like there's not?
Couple times 3. Couple 3.
Yeah, it was exasperated. That was the word.
hydrated.
Okay.
Abraham was like, I'm exasperated with her blonde. And I was like,
That's a good one for children.
I'm parched. What am I looking for? I'm parched. I was like, what?
you said it so loud.
And I'm here.
Exhausted. I'm so exhausted about that. I spelled it wrong.
Oh, there's so much better than used to be. I'm the third teacher to come to that class. Ran off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You were good toddlers.
Older toddlers. Yeah, there were all 3 except for one child, 2, and she couldn't do it.
Like, actually, you can do it.
No, yeah, he has a lot of fake words.
Sometimes you don't feel like Actually, I really like that. I think the problem with the school I'm at right now is that there's such a high teacher turnover. I've had high schoolers come to the school looking for their teachers, and I'm like, there's one person left here. She said this really wants it, you know, it's awful. There's just no consistency. The school spirit is really down. We have the highest district. All the other schools in the district combined, their staff session rates, it's still lower than it's by ourselves. I like the I think that really makes sense.
I love you.
No,
Precedents and like
I feel like
rock solid
I'm
thing.
running out of ideas.